imagine a love so intense that it pulls a man across cities, abandoning his world in a heartbeat, driven by a single, electrifying call from his girlfriend. But what happens when that burning desire hides a secret that could unravel everything? Dive into this gripping tale of passion, sacrifice, and shocking twists that will leave you breathless. Subscribe now to unlock more heart-pounding stories like this one, delivered straight to your inbox. In the dim glow of a late Thursday evening, Ethan Carter sat hunched over his laptop in his cramped Chicago apartment, the hum of the city pulsing through the open window as he finalized a presentation that could secure his promotion at the tech firm where he'd toiled for years, his fingers flying across the keyboard with the kind of focus that had earned him a reputation as the company's rising star. But his phone buzzed relentlessly on the desk, the screen lighting up with a name that made his heart skip. Lila, his girlfriend of 2 years, who was studying for her master's degree 300 miles away in Ann Arbor. And though he'd planned to visit her that weekend, the urgency of her text, "I need you now," sent a jolt through him, her words laced with a raw, almost primal desire that he'd never sensed before, and without hesitation, he slammed his laptop shut, grabbed his keys, and bolted out the door, leaving his half-finished presentation and the weight of his career dangling like a loose thread, because Lila's voice, even through text, had a pull stronger than ambition. A siren call that drowned out reason, and as he sped through the night in his beat-up sedan, the highway stretching endlessly before him, he couldn't shake the memory of their last weekend together, her laughter filling the air as they danced in her tiny kitchen, her dark eyes sparkling with a promise of forever. But now, her message held a feverish edge, a hunger that both thrilled and unnerved him. And by the time he crossed the Michigan border, the stars above blurring into streaks, his phone rang, her voice breathy and urgent, begging him to hurry, saying she couldn't wait another second, and his foot pressed harder on the gas, the engine groaning as he pushed it to its limits, his mind racing with fantasies of her waiting for him, her hair wild, her lips parted, but also with a nagging flicker of doubt. Why this sudden, desperate need? And as he pulled into Ann Arbor at 3 a.m., the streets eerily quiet, he found her apartment door ajar, a sliver of warm light spilling into the hallway, and his heart pounded as he stepped inside, expecting to find her in a state of longing. But instead, the living room was a mess, books strewn across the floor, a shattered wine glass glittering in the corner, and Lila sat on the couch, her face pale, her eyes wide with something that wasn't desire but fear, and she whispered, "Ethan, thank God you're here," her voice trembling as she clutched a crumpled letter, its edges worn as if she'd read it 100 times, and she explained in a rush that she'd received it that morning, an anonymous note claiming she was in danger, that someone was watching her, someone who knew her every move, and the letter had demanded she call Ethan to her side, or else, and as he read the words, his blood ran cold, the threats crawled in jagged ink, "He won't make it in time," and Ethan's mind spun, torn between the instinct to protect her and the realization that he'd been lured here, that this wasn't about desire but a trap. And as he held her trembling form, the apartment's silence was shattered by a faint creak from the hallway, a shadow flickering just beyond the door, and his heart sank as he understood that whoever had written the letter was already here, waiting, and the night he thought would be a passionate reunion was spiraling into something far darker, something he wasn't prepared for. Yet he tightened his grip on Lila, vowing to face whatever came next, because even in the face of danger, her pull was undeniable, and as the shadow grew closer, he realized this was no ordinary threat. It was personal, tied to a secret Lila had never shared, a past she buried deep, and the truth would either save them or destroy them both. But for now, all he could do was hold her, his mind racing to piece together the puzzle before the shadow stepped into the light.